One thing kind of interesting about Donald Trump is that he explicitly says that we should not be cutting Social Security. He warns against it. He says it will not happen under his administration. And it's one of the things that actually helps in creating this populist illusion. And it helps differentiate himself from generic Republicans, traditional GOP types. But yeah, not every Republican feels the same way. Chris Sununu, for example, is the Republican governor of New Hampshire, and he just recently said that we need to cut Social Security. So Newsweek reports Chris Sununu told CNN's Dana Bash on Sunday morning that Social Security cuts should be, quote, on the table. Newsweek has reached out to Sununu's office via email for comment Sunday morning. Yeah, so he has not commented, but this is the type of thing. You do not run for president while saying this type of thing. You got to be very careful, especially, and I know this guy isn't running against Trump, but if you were running against Trump, he would call you out for it and he would get applause. You would say, oh, let's cut Social Security. And he would say, no, we're not going to cut Social Security. And the crowd would just applaud for him. But yeah, Sununu is not seeking re-election for governor of New Hampshire. That might be part of this calculus that he's saying, oh yeah, now it's time to cut Social Security. I'm not running for re-election. If I said we should cut Social Security, then I would have a hard time getting re-elected. But yeah, this guy is a Republican governor in a blue state. That's quite a feat. You got to hand it to him. So he's basically a Chris Christie type, and certainly more moderate on most issues than Donald Trump or Ted Cruz or Ron DeSantis or J.D. Vance. I've heard him praised by Democrats even, believe it or not. And I've heard people talk about him being very formidable. There was some talk about him running for New Hampshire Senate back in 2022. But yeah, this is not the type of thing that you want to say if you're trying to get elected. So I can just imagine this guy, if he tried to run in 2028, the Republican candidates and definitely the Democratic candidates would make a big deal out of this. They'd be like, he wants to cut grandma's Social Security. He wants to throw grandma off a cliff. This is a guy who doesn't believe in senior citizens getting a nice, peaceful retirement. Yeah, it's bad politics, regardless of what you think about the policy. I know that there have been some fairly thought out criticisms of Social Security that have been made, but even if you think that's good policy to cut it, then you still shouldn't say it because it's bad politics. Social Security is wildly popular. It just is. So, quote, what they want to do in their political opportunity with the political momentum of this election is to build something lasting with a balanced budget amendment, taking on maybe not tomorrow, but understanding the challenges of Social Security are real. I mean, everyone's Social Security benefit gets cut 17%. That's what Sununu said. Careful, buddy. Bash then chimed in, quote, but Trump's already said he's not going to touch Social Security. Sununu responded, and that's the challenge, getting over that political hump, to get folks on the Hill to say, either we deal with this in a crisis 8 years from now, or we deal with it in a more constructive way today. Bash then asked, so you think the incoming president is wrong when he says take entitlements, Medicare, and Social Security, which, as you know, take up the vast majority of the budget, that they should be on the table? So yeah, entitlements, most entitlements tend to be wildly popular. So this guy's got to be careful. And Dana Bash is kind of telling him, she seems to be trying to get him to pump the brakes or make him realize, dude, the big dog at the top of the GOP ticket doesn't agree with you. You got to be careful. But I don't think this guy cares. But yeah, obviously he thought this through before saying it. You know, people don't just go on air and scream, cut Social Security, cut Medicare, cut Medicaid. But yeah, just interesting that someone in the Trump era, a more populist Republican era, at least in the veneer of populism, would say something like this. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you in the next video.